Hello, year six. Hope all of you are doing so well. And in this video, we're going to learn more about ratios and proportions. And the first question that we have over here is a recipe for a salad that has 2 peppers for every 7 tomatoes. Roth makes the salad using 6 peppers. How many tomatoes does he or she use? All right, the first thing, of course, that I need to do over here is writing the items that we're dealing with, writing the words. As if you remember, guys, we agreed that we're going to do this in 3 steps or 3 lines, 3 very important lines. And the first line over here, which is the names, we're going to write here. First thing, of course, that we have over here is the pepper. And it's pepper to what? To tomatoes. Is there any need for total? Well, of course, no. Here, it's gonna actually make no sense at all to add the column to total. But if you guys just got confused, and even if you got confused, and right here, the total column, it's never gonna harm you at all. It's never gonna lead you or mislead you to the answer, to the correct answer. No, it's just you're gonna get the correct answer at the end. All right, let's continue. What about the second line, Mr. Okay, we determined here that we're dealing with peppers and tomatoes. What about the other line? The fact. The other line is always about the facts. All right, what fact do we have over here? It says it's all, you're gonna find it here. A recipe for a salad has 2 peppers for every 7 tomatoes. This is a fact, okay? So a fact here of about that salad, it's not just a fact that never changes, guys. No, it's just in this situation. All right, so here it's 2 peppers and 7 tomatoes. Again, it doesn't make any sense to put the sum here, but even if you put the sum here, which is 9, it's not going to lead you to the wrong answer. All right, Roth makes the salad using 6 peppers. Okay, the third line here, the third line is always about something that changes in this fact. So here, this is what the question says to you. It's that for every 2 peppers, there are 7 tomatoes. Okay, but here the third line, it's always that change, always that change. What if, here, this is what the question says, what if the salad if he makes the salad using 6 peppers? So it's not 2 peppers, it's gonna be 6 peppers. So here is the change that is happening. In the third line, you're gonna always find only one number that is written there. Only one out of the 3 is going to be written here. So he wrote here 6 peppers. This is what the question says. And where's the question mark? So it's always a number and a question mark in the third line, always, guys. How many tomatoes does she use? So the question here is about the tomatoes. The question here is about the tomatoes. So here I'm going to put the question mark in the tomatoes column. Okay, what about the total, mister? I cannot find the total. You don't have to. As you see here, all what I need is just that the pepper column is complete, and even the tomatoes column is complete. I have a 7 and a question mark in it. So the total from the beginning was useless. I don't need it. That's why I say to you, even if you put it there in the beginning, it's never going to lead you to the wrong answer. Okay, so now I'm going to ignore this column. How can I find the tomatoes? Cross multiplication. I'm going to take the 6 multiplied by the 7. We always start from the third line over here, or the line that has the missing number, that has the question mark. I'm going to start from the 6. I'm going to go all the way up, but cross here. Look, it is 6 multiplied by 7. And when you multiply 6 by 7, which is 42, you're going to have to divide it by the other number that is there. Which number, mister? The number that is missing, the number that I haven't used so far. Oh, the 9, you mean? No, we agreed that we're going to just here ignore this column. So the missing number, the only number that I haven't used is this, 20 divided by 2. So here, when you do 6 times 7, which is 42, divided by 2 is going to give you, of course, here doing the long division. Well, here actually it's short division. You can also do it mentally. It's just 21. So 21 tomatoes to make to use six peppers. He needs 21 tomatoes. Here in the second question, it is all about non-smokers and smokers. So look at this. It says here non-smokers, smokers, and total, mister? Maybe. We're gonna see. All right, we're gonna see here in the facts line. So the facts line here, the ratio of non-smokers to smokers in a cafe was 10 to 2. Okay, they said non-smokers first, so non-smokers 10, smokers 2. So the total is what? Total is 12. Okay, they say here there were 120 people. Okay, 120 people non-smokers or 120 people smokers. They didn't determine this. They didn't specify. So it's just in the total to 120 people in all. So there were 120 people in in the cafe. Okay. How many smokers were there? Oh, so in the third line, we agree there is one of the numbers that are in the second line changes to the third line. So here it's 12, became 120. 120, where's the question mark? How many smokers were there? Smokers, so I need the question mark to be here. Okay, if you notice, guys, there are, of course, here, which column do we don't need so far. So I have the question mark here, and I have the number here. So this column is complete. This column is also complete with 2 and a question mark. This column, I cannot do anything about it. I don't even need it. And they didn't ask me any question about it. So I'm going to ignore this column. All right, there are 2 ways to do this. Of course, the cross multiplication, as we agreed, 120 multiplied by 2, which is 240. When you divide 240 by 12, this one here, so 120 times 2 is 240 divided by 12 is going to give you 20. Okay, 24 divided by 12 is 2, and the 0 is just 20. This is one way. But there is also another way that we could have also used here, which is the 2. Multiplying it by 3 here, then the 7, multiplying it by 3 here to give us 21. Oh, that is a piece of cake, mister. And the same thing here, we multiply the 12 by 10 to give us 120. We also need to multiply the 2 by 10 to give us 20. This 20 that we got from the division. 20. Oh, mister, this way is so much easier than the cross multiplication. I totally agree with you, but it doesn't always work this way, unfortunately, because as you see here in this question, we have here, Alan makes orange paint by mixing, this is mixing, red and yellow. So here I have red and yellow. He uses red to yellow in the ratio 2 to 3. Red, I need to change the color, red to yellow. Make what, guys? If he adds red to yellow, what comes out? Orange. So the total of the red and the yellow is going to be the orange. You can say here, total, and in brackets, orange. We know this. If I add red to yellow, it's going to be orange. And this is what the question actually says. It's not that something that it's in my knowledge. Of course, you should know that red, when added to yellow, becomes orange. But even if you don't know this, it's mentioned already in the question. Okay, so here he uses red to yellow in the ratio of 2 to 3. So red to yellow, 2 to 3. The total is 5, so it makes 5 liters of orange paint. Okay, so the third line, which is about something that changes, Alan needs 8 liters of orange. Okay, where is this? Is it here in the red? Where am I going to put the 8? Under red? No. Under yellow? No. Under total? Yes, total is the orange here. He needs 8 liters of orange. All right, what is the question here, mister? How much red paint does he need? How much red paint does he need? Okay, so the question mark is here. The yellow, is there anything right now about the yellow? No, we just put a cross above it this way. That means that we need to ignore this column. We need to completely ignore it for now. So how are we going to find it? Oh, Mr. The easy way. Okay, let's see. What happened to the 5 to become 8? Oh, that's going to be a little bit complicated, Mr. So let's not use this way. So here we need to use the cross multiplication way, which is 8 multiplied by 2 is going to become, oh, Mr. Why didn't you multiply by 3? Come on, we've just said it. Ignore this column. So it's 8 multiplied by 2 is 16. 16, when you divide it by 5, oh, look at this. 16 divided by 5. Mr. Why didn't you divide by 3? Seriously, do I have to say this 100 times? We ignored this column. So it's 8 times 2, which is 16, divided by 5. Let's do this. Here is a 0. This is a 3. You all know how to do long division. 15. When you subtract, it becomes 1. I put here 0.0 and put the point up and bring the 0 down. 10 divided by 5 is 2, so it's 3. Whoa, what a weird 2, mister. Sorry, guys. 3.2. So here is the answer. How much red paint does he need? 3.2. You can write it here instead also of the question mark. 3.2. In the second question here, which is question B, how much yellow paint does he need? Oh, mister, do I have to do all of this again? But instead of ignoring this column, I'm going to ignore that column. No, you don't have to do this. All what you have to do, now you have the information, 3.2. Add to it something, becomes 8. Okay, now it's subtraction. Exactly. So it's just 8. You subtract from it 3.2 will give you the yellow paint. So now it is going to be 4.8. Mister, what if I rewrote the question like this and I just ignored the red and I did here the cross multiplication, 8 multiplied by 3, which is 24. 24, I divided it by 8. It's going to give you the same answer, 4.8 as well. It's going to give you also 4.8 for the yellow. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm really sorry about this mess. Okay, so it's going to give you here 4.8 also. Okay, guys, but there is actually no need to do all of this since you already had the red 3.2. We should just take 3.2 away from 8 from the total to give us the yellow. The next page that we have over here, if 5 miles is approximately 8 kilometers, well, oh, mister, that's a piece of cake. It's just miles and kilometers. I'm gonna write the total, mister. There is no need to. It doesn't even actually make any sense to add miles to kilometer. Mister, let's assume that I didn't notice that I don't need the total and I wrote it there. Is this going to be wrong? Actually, no, it's going to lead you to the right answer still. Okay, but it's just as you see here, it's not even mentioned in the question. It is not mentioned in the question that they need you to use anything that makes a total of something. So just, all right, let's keep going. Miles here is going to be 8, and the kilometer here is 30. This is what it says. Oh, no, 1 second. It says 5 miles in approximately 8 kilometers. And all right, I'm going to still do that mistake. I'm going to make that mistake still. And just 5 plus 8 is 13. All right, what about the third line, mister? The third line here, let's see. It says how many miles? Okay, so the question mark is on the miles. Is 30 kilometers. Okay, here is the 30 kilometers, mister. What about the total? Oh, mister, what about the total? I cannot find it. Come on, you still don't notice this. It is not important. You don't need it. You just have to ignore it. So there is always, you're going to Sorry, guys, I guess that I had an internet connection problem. I don't know when exactly it stopped, but I guess that I'm going to find out once I'm done with the video. So here, what I have to do is 30 multiplied by 5, which is 150. 150, you divided by 8, long division, 150 divided by 8, you're going to find that this is here going to be 1, which is 8, and this will, after subtraction, is going to be 7, which is 70. After bringing down the 0, 70 divided by 8 is going to give you exactly 7, which is not 7, sorry, is going to give you 8, which is 64. This is an 8 here. 64, when you subtract the 70 and 64 is going to give you 6 exactly. Put here 0.0, bring the 0 down and put the point up. It's going to be 60 divided by 8, which is 7. 56, if you multiply the 7 and the 8, is going to give you 56. After you subtract them, it's going to give you exactly 4. If you bring down the 0, another 0 there is going to be 40 divided by 8 is exactly 18.75. And this is the answer here. It is 18.75 miles. All right. How many kilometers is 9 miles? The same steps exactly is going to lead you to the answer. The next question here. Mike is making a fruit drink for 12 people. Mike is making a fruit drink for 12 people. Oh, they're at the beginning of the questions here. Here is a recipe. Here is a recipe for a fruit drink for 5 people. Mike is making a fruit drink for 12 people. How many oranges does he need? Guys, they didn't mention anything about the pineapples. They're just putting it over there. It's just an extra information. Well, actually for the whole recipe, but I don't need to write all these numbers. The question is just only about people and oranges. Okay, so here you just find here, people is just 5. This is the factor that is in the question. Here is a recipe for a fruit drink for 5 people. How many oranges are there for 5 people? If you need to make that fruit salad or that fruit drink for 5 people, well, for 5 people, you need 10 oranges. This is what the question says. Okay. Oh, Mr. You forgot to put the total. Please give me a break. People plus oranges? Seriously? Is this what you want to do? What kind of salad or fruit drink is this going to be? So of course, no, people and oranges, of course, we're not going to add them up. So here it's just 5 people. This will serve 5 people if you use 10 oranges in your drink. But the question here is about Mike is making a fruit drink for 12 people. Okay, the third line is always about something that changes in the fact, which is in the second row here. The second line, the fact, the third line is always about a change. 12 people. How many oranges does he need? All right, this is here, the question mark. Mr. That is a piece of cake. Cross multiplication. I'm going to take the 12 multiplied by 120 by 10, which is 120. You divide 120 by the other number that is left over there, which is 5. After you divide here, you're going to find that it is exactly, this is 2, and this is 4. You're going to find that it is exactly 24 after finishing your longer division, or even doing this mentally if you can. You're going to find that it's 24. So guys, if you noticed here, you would find that I didn't use this information at all about the pineapples. They didn't mention anything to me about it in the question. There was no need at all to finish it. I also didn't use the mangoes, even though it is really delicious, but I didn't mention or use it in my answer at all. In water, of course, it is necessary for a drink or for any drink actually, but I still didn't use it in my answer. Why, mister? It's just here, they're asking me on about something. If the number of people changes, what is going to happen to the oranges? They didn't, if they asked me about the pineapples, then I would have just put instead of oranges, the number of pineapples. If they asked me about mangoes, I would have put over here the number of mangoes. If they asked me about the change that would happen in all of them, I would have put all of them next to each other and followed the same steps. All right, the next question, and I guess this is going to be the last question. It is actually similar to the previous question. Here is a recipe for cupcakes. It's for 5 cupcakes, actually. The recipe here is for 5 cupcakes, but Kirsty has all the ingredients in the recipe. except she only has 72 grams of flour. How many cupcakes can she make? All right, Mister, the question here actually is about two items, the cupcakes themselves and the flour. So they didn't mention anything about butter, about the castor sugar, about the eggs, about the vanilla extract. So it's just here the cupcakes and what else they said? Yeah, the flour here. All right, let's find the fact, mister. Let's find the fact. Cupcakes, they said here, the fact is just in the question in the beginning here. It doesn't always have to be in the beginning, but just it is obvious. It's just telling you here is a recipe for cupcakes. For 5 cupcakes, you need all these ingredients. So here you find here that it is for 5 cupcakes. This is what the fact says. You need 90 grams of flour, 90 grams of flour. Okay, and the question here, they're telling you how many cupcakes. All right, see this, guys? How many cupcakes? So here is the question mark. If she has only 72 grams of flour, 72 grams of flour, how many cupcakes can she make? Cross multiplication. All right, I'm gonna start, of course, from the third line. Always we start from the bottom over here, from the line that has the question mark in it as well. So 72, go all the way up to 5. 72 multiplied by 5, you're gonna find it that it is 360. 360. I'm sure that you can multiply them. Then you divide the answer by 90 to give you here the question mark. So 360 divided by 90. Oh, mister, that actually, I thought in the beginning that it's going to be division with 2 digits. It is actually a piece of cake. Just cross these 2 zeros with each other. It's just 3060 divided by 9, which is exactamente only 4. So 4 cupcakes. This is the answer to this question here, except she only has 72 grams of flour. So if the number of grams in flour changes to this, how many cupcakes? So how many cupcakes is she going to need? They didn't ask me about the butter. I don't need to use it. About the castor, even though it is really delicious, I don't need it. The eggs, and here is the vanilla extract. I don't need anything from this information. I need only the cupcakes and the flour in my answer. Um, that is it. I hope that this helps you guys, and thank you so much. See you tomorrow.